main idea for this sound is that we're going to use wavetables that create an interesting texture at a very low pitch. So we can just start by going into this folder here where the default wavetables in Vital are located, and just look for them and see if we can find some interesting ones in there. And I'm going to play this at a really low pitch, as you can see down here. Yeah, this is the kind of texture that we're looking for. So this one is really good. Look for another one. This one could be interesting as well. Let's just start with this one. And to create the initial punch and impact for this, we're just going to use an LFO and put this on the pitch of this oscillator. And then let's just draw in a shape like this, like for most other percussive sounds. And also use this in envelope mode here. And I also want to cycle through the wavetable at the same time, so we can just use another LFO and put this on the wavetable position here. And let's just draw in a shape like this, increase the tempo quite a bit, because I don't really want any rapid movements in there from this. I just want it to slowly cycle through this. Maybe make it a bit faster. I think this is good. And now we can also additionally pitch this oscillator down even more. So let's leave it like that. We can obviously change that later to get some more variations. Now let's set up the second oscillator and just use this wavetable that we listened to before as well. And we're gonna pretty much do the same here. Put LFO1 on the pitch, but we don't really need to go up all the way with the pitch. You can bring in some variation here. So let's just leave it like that. And we can use LFO2 again on this wavetable position here. And we can also create some width by just giving one of these a few voices and detuning it a bit. Yeah, maybe it's better like this. I'm playing it an octave higher now, but we can also pitch this one down as well. Let's leave it like that. And we can also use a sine wave on top of all of this to support this a bit. And let's just put the pitch bend on there as well. And with this, we can control a bit more where the punch actually sits. Let's just leave it like that. So I think this is a good basis for pushing all of this into more effects. So let's start by using the filters down here. And first I want to create some wobbly movement in there. So I'm just going to use a bandpass filter and route both oscillators through this. And I want to create a movement similar to this. So we can just use another LFO. Let's just use LFO3 and put this on the frequency of this. The tempo here should be really high, so I'm going to just change this to seconds to frequency mode. And let's just see what it sounds like. Let's increase the resonance a bit as well. And now I'm mainly going to use the second filter for just getting the original sound back in there. Also route both oscillators through this. We can actually use the drive on this one. And now let's head over to the effects, and I want to create some more movement just with using something like a chorus or a flanger or a phaser. I hardly ever use flanger and phaser, so maybe try them for this one. And I don't really like these kind of effects when they are too audible, so we need to dial the mix in appropriately. Yeah, maybe like this. And now we can add another filter and just create some more movement in the high end. So we're gonna set this really high and just use LFO3 again. And also increase the resonance for this one. So now, because we are increasing the resonance in the highs, we are losing a bit of the sound. So I'm just going to use distortion after this to saturate the sound more. Okay, sounds interesting already. So now I will go into some more post-processing. And one of the most important things for the sound that I'm going for here is this little disperser trick. So you've probably seen this by now on other channels, that you can use the EQ3 in Ableton to sort of recreate the effect of the kilohertz plugin disperser, just by smearing the frequencies here. So we're just going to create a long chain of EQ3s and we're going to hear the effect immediately. So this is with and without. And what I like to do before pushing the sound into something like this is to accentuate the transients. So we can use rumbly in this case, but you can use just any transient shaper you want. And we can also use this to saturate the sound more. And so we can just use this drive here. Maybe even give it a bit of low end. So, sounds interesting. I'm just gonna EQ this a bit. It's already decent sounding, but I just want to get rid of some of the muddiness here in the mids to low mids. And we can even use some OTT maybe and just push the sound up even further, just at really moderate settings. And then maybe even some more saturation afterwards. This is pretty much the kind of textural tail that I wanted. And what I like to do with this kind of sound is the following. Let's just draw in the MIDI note here. So I've been playing a C all this time. And I actually like to just use a low pass filter. And that's when I think this texture usually sounds the best. Yeah, something like this. So I hope this helps you to get this, at least a basic idea how you can create a similar sound. Depending on the wavetables you're using, you can just play around with different wavetables. Depending on what kind of synthesizers you're using and stuff, you're gonna have different ones available. And obviously, as you heard before, the pitch changes here can make quite the difference. And also it's very interesting to play around with this effect. You can add more instances or use less. You can also change the frequency of this and use different transient shapers. So there's a lot of options for you to create similar sounds.